Good afternoon and welcome to this legislation webinar. I am Anita Wood, and one of my areas of responsibility here at the General Board of Higher Education and Ministry is for provisional members. During this segment, I would like to take a look at changes for provisional members in the examination as they seek to become ordained either as a deacon or an elder. As I refer to the disciplinary paragraphs, I want to remind you again that the numbers are for the new 2012 Book of Discipline, which takes effect January 1, 2013, the red line of which is on our website. You may go to gbhem.org/BOM to access it. The length of provisional membership and the educational requirements for becoming a provisional member are unchanged. The changes proposed in paragraph 327 affect the continuance of provisional members. When the Board of Ordained Ministry recommends discontinuance, it must be voted on by the clergy session, and in the case of discontinuance without the consent of the provisional member, there is a right to a fair process hearing before the Board of Ordained Ministry Committee on Conference Relations. The committee will then report to the full Board of Ordained Ministry for action and then take it to the clergy session. The other change is in point 7. A provisional member may not have retirement status. If a provisional member reaches the mandatory retirement age and is not recommended for ordination, they will automatically be discontinued. In the case of a provisional elder who wants to continue in ministry after the age of 72 and is appointed, they may do so as a retired local pastor. For a provisional deacon wishing to continue, they would do so as a layperson. Remember, these take effect January 1, so anyone already retired as a provisional member would remain so. Changes were made for both those seeking ordination as a deacon and those seeking ordination as an elder. The deacon examination requirements are in paragraph 330 and the elder in paragraph 335. Let's look first at the deacon requirements. I have grouped them here under 5 headings. While the first requirement was already in this paragraph, the other 4 requirements have been added to make explicit the expectations of provisional deacon members coming before the board seeking ordination. The candidate shall have first demonstrated the ability to communicate clearly in both oral and written form to the satisfaction of the Board of Ordained Ministry. Secondly, they must have satisfied the board regarding their physical, mental, and emotional health. Third, prepared and preached at least one written sermon on a biblical passage specified by the Board of Ordained Ministry, or another act of proclamation of the word appropriate to the candidate's ministry setting. The second part of this requirement is important for deacons, since many are not preaching regularly, but may be doing training sessions, workshops, musical compositions, teaching plans, developing curriculum, organizing community activities, and the list could go on. It is important to give deacons an opportunity to demonstrate their skills in their own particular area of ministry. The fourth requirement is for a detailed plan and outline for teaching a Bible study. And fifthly, they must present a project that demonstrates fruitfulness in carrying out the church's mission of making disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. This requirement has been added both for deacons and elders, and ask for specific details on how their ministry has contributed to the mission of the United Methodist Church. In paragraph 330, we have the following has been reordered, and these are all the theology questions. They have been reformatted to bring them together in one place and require the provisional member to answer them with examples of their ministry, practice, and experience. You may see them listed here. All these topics were previously touched upon in various ways, but bringing them together thematically helps us be a little more organized and see exactly what we are covering in our questions. Additional questions are asked on the doctrines of the Church. These also have not been changed, but once again have been brought together in this paragraph in a more organized way. This other question is new and gives the provisional deacon an opportunity to reflect on the way they have integrated the mission of the Church into their practice of ministry. It also asks for an evaluation of the Church and its mission at present, to name the challenges, and gives the chance for the person to share their vision in their future ministry. Another group of questions that have been brought together are the vocation questions. These questions give an opportunity for personal commitments to ministry to be shared, and also for the Board of Ordained Ministry to check the self-awareness of the provisional member as they read the contents of their file and compare what they hear from the provisional deacon alongside the perception of others that have sent in recommendations, references, and reports. This is very important for future ministry, and if self-perception and awareness does not match with evaluations, it may be an area for personal growth and possible counseling. Lastly, the willingness to be in ministry with all persons was a question previously asked, but the confidentiality question regarding pastoral confession was asked only of elders and is now being asked of deacons also. The same historic Wesley questions will continue to be asked by the bishop at the time of ordination. Let's now take a look at the questions for provisional elders. The questions have been reordered to make clear the skills and practices required, and words have been added to bring up to date the present emphases in the practice of ministry. I have listed all the requirements here, letting you know that those that remain the same and those that have changes. As you can see, the word detailed has been added to the Bible study requirement, and it now asks for a detailed plan and outline. And then the last question listed here is the one that was also added to the requirements for deacons. It asks for a project that demonstrates fruitfulness in carrying out the church's mission. Once again, the questions being asked of those seeking to become elders have been reorganized in such a way that the topics of the questions are clear. Here you see the questions on theology. All of these questions were previously touched upon in some way, but you see them listed here so that you can be aware of the topics covered in the theological questions. These topics will be covered with the person either in their written work and/or in the interview process. It should be noted that all these theological questions are now being asked in relation to the person's practice and experience in ministry. Once again, we are looking for the ability to integrate theological understandings into practice. The questions on doctrine remain the same. The historic Wesley questions will be asked by the bishop at the time of ordination. The same question will be asked of both deacons and elders concerning the mission of the church and its challenges today. The answers to this question will give the Board of Ordained Ministry a glimpse into the insights of those entering ordained ministry regarding what the future might hold and where emphasis in time and energy should be. A vocation question has also been added, giving an opportunity for the person being interviewed to affirm their call to the order they seek to become a part of. The remaining questions are those around self-awareness of skills and strengths in ministry and personal commitment to what it means to have a fruitful ministry. In summarizing, the requirements to become a provisional member have few changes. The provisional residency program gives its 4 areas of requirements: mentoring, peer groups, continuing theological education, and supervision by the district superintendent. Discontinuance has some changes, and the processes should be followed. The changes are coming where the examination questions, they are in a different order, and additions have been made to reflect an awareness of the mission of the church, the present areas of focus in the United Methodist Church, an encouragement for the person seeking ordination to be able to articulate how their theology is integrated in their practice of ministry, and the need to have a fruitful ministry. My prayer is that your annual conference will be committed to making the provisional time of ministry one in which those in the first years of ordained ministry have everything they need to do and be their very best. Opportunities for developing good habits, collegiality with their colleagues, and knowledge of ways to develop their skills and commitment to the mission of making disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. This will then lead to questions at the time of ordination to be answered in a full and explicit way. Thank you.